Don't
The
worry.
space station called hung in the
I did
darkness between
action,
three
story,
star
difficult, and
systems.
puzzles,
It was
hard
old,
difficulty.
built
Why
by a
would you do
species
that?
that had died out long before any of the current galactic
But I still
powers
play
had
it for
learned to
fun.
walk upright. Now it served as neutral ground, a place where the great civilizations of the
See,
galaxy came
I
to
that's what I
talk,
was
to
doing at one
trade,
point.
and to show off their
You
power.
cannot play Tekken for
Today
fun
was the first day of the Galactic Trade Summit.
unless you
Ships from
completely stay
47
off of
different
range.
species had gathered around the station. Some were sleek and beautiful. Others were massive and covered with weapons.
So,
They floated in the void like predators
yeah.
circling prey, each one trying to look more impressive than the
Nerd! What am I
last.
doing? I don't know.
Inside the station's
I
great
kind of wanted to
hall,
play a little bit of Fortnite.
representatives from
I
across
might
the
start Silent
galaxy
Hill
took their
F.
seats. They came first, their bodies made of living
We shall
crystal that caught
see.
the light and threw rainbows across the walls. They walked with their heads held
I'm gonna get a
high,
snack, I
their
think. I'm thirsty.
ambassador a tall male named who looked at everyone else like they were insects. They arrived next. They were huge reptilian creatures, each one standing nearly 3 meters tall. Their scales were thick and dark, their eyes yellow and cold. They had
Um,
conquered
why
dozens
do
of
I keep
worlds and
getting these?
enslaved
Have
billions.
you heard about?
Their high
I did
commander
hear about
wore a
that.
necklace
Yes,
made from the
I
teeth of his
did.
enemies.
And
He
it is very
smiled at the other
sad,
delegates, but it was
but
not a
good at the
friendly
same time.
smile. They came silently, as they always did. They were thin and with large black eyes that seemed to see
Start Silent
everything.
Hill. I'm not
They
really.
claimed to be
I don't know if I want
neutral
to
in all
start off with that
conflicts,
game.
but
I might want to
everyone
end
knew they
it.
sold
My stream with
weapons to
that game.
whoever paid the most. Other species filled the remaining seats. Some had fur,
Have you
some had
played Party
scales,
Animals?
some had no solid form at all. Each one
Hello.
represented a civilization that had spread across dozens or hundreds of worlds. Each one commanded fleets of warships and armies of
I
soldiers.
think
And then at the very end came the humans.
Maverick is working.
Their ship was small. It had no weapons that anyone could see. It did not shine or glow or make the other delegates feel afraid. It simply docked quietly at the station's outer ring, and three figures walked out. Park was 53 years old. She had hair that she kept short, and she wore a simple uniform with no medals or decorations. Her face was calm, and her movements were slow and careful. She was the human
All right.
ambassador, chosen not for her strength or her wealth, but for her patience. Behind her
Big ass
walked.
dog,
He
Mason.
was young,
His
perhaps
name is
30, with a
Maverick. Let me
round
show you
face
him.
and eager eyes. He carried a small tablet and looked around the station with obvious wonder. This was his
Come,
first time leaving Earth, and
sit.
everything amazed him. The third human was
Hello.
Lee. She was the security officer,
Sit.
though she carried no visible weapon. She was small, even for a
Sit.
human, and she moved with the quiet
Sit.
grace of someone who had trained their body to be a weapon. Her eyes never
He's
stopped
being
moving,
mean, dude.
watching everything, missing nothing.
Sit.
The great hall fell quiet as the humans entered. Then the whispers began. "Those are the humans," someone asked.
Yeah, he's a
"They are
big
so
boy.
small. Where are
He's
their
probably like the
guards?
same height
Where
as
are their
me.
weapons?
He stands up.
I heard their planet is mostly water.
Shall we
Can you
see?
imagine? They live on a wet rock." Of the stood and walked toward the
He's
humans.
learned not to
His
jump on me
crystalline
though, so I
body
don't know. It
made
might be weird
musical
for me to ask
sounds as
him
he
to
moved.
jump.
He stopped in front of and looked down at her with obvious
I'm a
contempt.
cat person. I have
"So,"
two
he said
cats.
loudly, making sure
Do you guys
everyone
want to
could
meet
hear.
them?
"The humans have come. I was
Let
not
me
sure you
see.
would. Your species has only been traveling between stars for 200 years. Most of us have been doing it for thousands."
They're somewhere around here.
Bowed politely.
Yeah,
"We are
let me grab
grateful
them.
for the invitation, Ambassador." "Invitation?" laughed. "We did not invite you. The rules say any spacefaring species may attend. We simply could not find a legal way to keep you out." Laughter rippled through the hall. His face turned red with anger, but placed a gentle hand on his arm. "We understand," she said calmly. "We are here only to observe and learn." "Observe and learn," repeated, his deep voice rumbling like thunder. The commander had approached, and he towered over the humans like a mountain over mice. "That is all your kind ever does, yes. You watch, you learn, but you never act, you never fight, you never take." "We
Here is
prefer
one of
peace,"
them.
said. Peace made the word sound like a disease. Peace is what the weak call their surrender. The strong do not want peace. The strong want more. He reached out with one massive clawed hand and touched shoulder. His grip was not gentle and tense beside her, but did not flinch. She simply looked up at the
Hello,
giant
chair.
reptile with her calm, steady eyes.
Yeah, her name is Diamond.
You have no warships,
Back up.
continued. No armies, no conquered worlds. What do you have, little human?
She's a big
What do you
cat.
bring to this summit?
The other one's bigger.
We bring ourselves, said, and we bring hope for cooperation between all species. More laughter filled the hall.
Though. She's like the
Even the
most
neutral
loving cat
allowed
ever.
themselves small smiles. Hope said, shaking his head. How delightful.
Like,
the
all she wants
humans
to do is
bring
cuddle
hope.
all night.
He gestured
Sleep with
toward
you
the
all day.
far end of the council table where a single chair sat apart from all the others. That is your seat, Ambassador. The observer's seat. Try not to fall asleep. Bowed again and walked to her seat, and followed. As they sat down, leaned close to his ear. How can you let them treat us like this? He whispered.
No, hell
His
no.
hands were shaking with anger.
Okay, that's
We
not
are not
crazy.
animals.
Let me
We
put
deserve
her
respect.
over here.
Respect
really
is
quick. I'm gonna show you the other
earned,
one.
said quietly, and it is not earned through anger. Then how? Did not answer. Instead, she reached into her pocket and pulled out a small tea set. She poured hot water from a thermos and began to prepare
Okay,
tea
the
with
other
slow, careful movements. The
she
other
sent
delegates
me some
watched with
tabby,
confusion
and I don't
and
know what else.
amusement.
This one is big.
What is she doing? One of them asked. Human ritual, another answered. They are obsessed with hot leaf water. More laughter, but did not seem to notice. She finished preparing her tea and took a small sip.
He's a big boy.
Her eyes closed for a moment and a peaceful expression crossed her face.
He's
Under
gonna
the
smack
table,
me.
her other hand moved to a small
He's heavy.
device hidden in her sleeve.
See?
She pressed a button,
Heavy.
sending a signal that traveled across 17 light years in an instant. On Earth, in a command center buried deep underground, a light began to blink. General looked at the light and felt her heart grow cold. She was 60 years old, a veteran of humanity's last great war. She had hoped she would never see that light blink. She had prayed that the signal would never come.
His name is Kitty.
But it had come,
And
now she had work to do.
Diamond.
She picked up her communicator and spoke 2 words. Begin preparations. Across the planet, in hidden bunkers and secret facilities, machines that had slept for a century began to wake. Back on station, the summit officially began.
Look how big he is.
The great powers argued about trade routes and territorial boundaries. They threatened each other and made deals in secret. They showed off their weapons and their wealth.
Yeah, that's.
And at the far end of the table, 3 quiet humans sat and watched and waited. No one paid them any attention. That was exactly what they wanted. 3 days passed on station. 3 days of meetings and arguments and threats. The great powers of the galaxy circled each other like hungry animals, each one looking for weakness in the others.
Why are you barking? Stop.
Park sat through every meeting. She listened to every speech. She took notes on her tablet and sipped her tea and never raised her voice. When other delegates asked her opinion, she gave short, polite answers. When they ignored her, she did not complain. Grew more frustrated with each passing hour. He was young and proud, and watching his people be treated like nothing hurt him deeply. He wanted to stand up and shout. He wanted to tell these aliens that humans had split the atom and walked on their moon and cured diseases that had killed millions. He wanted them to know that Earth was beautiful and its people were strong, but had told him to wait, so he waited. Lee said nothing at all. She stood behind his chair like a statue, her eyes always moving, her body always ready. She had killed 17 people in her life, all of them in defense of others. She hoped she would not need to kill anyone here, but if she did, she was ready. On the morning of the 4th day, High Commander called for the assembly's attention. He stood at the center of the great hall, his massive body blocking the light from the observation windows behind him. His yellow eyes swept across the gathered delegates, and his mouth twisted into a cruel smile. I have an announcement, he said. His voice was like rocks grinding together. The hegemony has decided to claim the passage. Silence fell over the hall. The passage was one of the most important hyperspace corridors in the quadrant. It connected a dozen star systems and allowed ships to travel in days what would otherwise take years. Many species used it. Many species needed it. This is outrageous, of the said, rising from his seat. The passage is neutral territory. It belongs to no one. It belongs to whoever is strong enough to take it, replied, and thee are strong enough. Arguments erupted across the hall. Delegates shouted and threatened and demanded explanations, but simply stood with his arms crossed, letting the chaos wash over him like water over stone.
Yeah, I feel like they grow so fast.
Then from the far end of the table, a quiet voice spoke. The passage borders human space.
An absent
Everyone
father?
turned to look at it. She had not stood up. She had not raised her voice.
That's funny.
She simply sat in her chair
You're
with her
deadbeat?
teacup in her hands, looking at with her calm, steady
Just
eyes.
kidding.
Smile grew wider.
Just
Yes,
kidding.
he said, it does. Our colony ships use that passage, continued. Thousands of human families travel through it every year. If you claim it, you will disrupt
Kill
our
Bill?
expansion.
I just started
Your
playing this
expansion,
game like this past
laughed,
weekend.
and several
Was
other
it this past
delegates
weekend? Yeah, I think
laughed
this
with
past
him.
weekend. And
You
I already
mean
bought
your
this
slow
skin.
little ships carrying
I don't know
farmers
why.
and teachers to build farms and schools on empty rocks? That is not expansion, human.
No, I see
That
how
is
you're
gardening.
moving now.
More laughter,
I'm
hands
kidding,
curled
I
into
swear.
fists under the table. We are a peaceful species, said. We do
Okay.
not wish to fight over territory. Of course you do not. Began
Let's try
walking
still,
toward the
let's
human
practice.
delegation, his heavy footsteps shaking the floor. Because you cannot fight. You have no
Wow, is
warships.
May on?
You have no weapons. You have nothing but your soft bodies and your soft words. He stopped in front of and leaned down until his face was centimeters from hers.
Bye, thank you for
His
stopping
breath
by.
was hot and smelled of rotting
Also,
meat.
I was just joking about
Do you know
deadbeat,
what I think,
swear.
little human? I think your species is weak.
Can't believe they
I
added.
think you are
I
prey
know.
pretending to be predators. I think if we wanted to, we could take everything you have, and there is nothing you could do to stop us. Did
I'm
not
gonna make
blink.
some hot chocolate
She did not
and
look
Christmas
away.
cookies in a
She
little
simply
bit.
lifted her teacup and took another sip.
Going home now from gym? Are you
That
gonna
would
play
be
with me?
unwise, High Commander. Unwise, eyes narrowed.
Give me a
Are
bit,
you
okay.
threatening me? No,
addicted,
I am
just
giving
say
you
it.
information. Threats are for those who wish to fright. I only wish to inform. Stared at her for a long moment. Then he threw back his head and laughed. The sound echoed through the hall like thunder. Information, he repeated. The human gives me information. Very well, little creature.
Right?
Let me give you some
I
information
was
in return.
debating on setting this up.
He straightened up and
to do my
addressed the
IRL,
entire
but-
assembly. The hegemony
I mean,
claims not only
honestly,
the
the
passage,
cookies,
but
it's
all
like
human
the-
territories that
Those
border it.
pre-made cookies with
We
the
will
little,
take
like,
your
pictures
colonies.
on them.
We will take your
There's not much
ships.
to cook with
And
those.
if
You just
Earth
put 'em in the
resists,
oven, so
he paused,
I don't
letting
wanna,
the
like-
silence stretch. We will take Earth itself. Gasps
IRL,
filled
like,
the
you should
hall.
just putting them in the
Even
oven.
the other predator species looked shocked. Making such a bold claim against another spacefaring species was almost
Nerd, do
unheard
you
of.
play,
It was a
Fortnite?
declaration of intent to commit genocide. Your planet has resources we want, continued, looking back down at. Your people are weak, but they can work. They can serve. Perhaps in a few generations, humans will make acceptable slaves. The hall fell completely silent. Every eye was on, waiting to see how she would respond to this ultimate
Wait,
insult.
where was I going? Oh, okay.
Set down her teacup. She folded her hands in her lap, and
Sorry,
then
got distracted.
slowly she
I
stood.
never played it, dude.
She was so small
I
compared
just
to.
downloaded it.
The
Play
top
it
of her
with
head
us.
barely reached his
Download it,
chest.
nerd.
But somehow, in that moment, she did not look small. She looked like something ancient and patient, something that had seen
That's
empires
pretty- right?
rise and fall
Why
and
can't I
had
get in here?
outlasted
Fuck.
them all. High Commander,
I
she
forgot
said,
I'm playing
her voice
by
soft
myself.
but clear. I have been an ambassador for 27 years. In that time, I have negotiated with dictators and
I'm gonna hide right
democrats,
here.
with saints and monsters. I have learned that there are some beings who cannot be
I used
reasoned
to like
with,
be one of those
some
people that
beings
are
who
like,
only
"Ew, fuck,
understand one language. And what language is that? Asked amused.
Fortnite, but now I'm kind
The
of
language
like,
of
okay.
consequences. Laughed again.
Oh, fuck.
Consequences. What consequences can humans possibly bring? You have nothing, you are nothing. We are quiet, agreed. We have been quiet for a very long time, but we were not always quiet, High Commander. Once, we were very loud indeed, so loud that we almost destroyed ourselves. She paused
God,
and something
my aim is
flickered in
so
her
bad.
eyes.
It's okay, I'll get
Something
good one
old
day, I
and
promise.
sad and terrible.
Oh my god, how did I
We
win
built
that?
machines, she continued. Machines of war unlike anything the galaxy has ever
That's so
seen.
bad.
We built them in our anger and our
I
fear,
swear my aim's
and we
better
used
on
them to
Call of
kill
Duty.
each other by the billions. When the killing finally stopped, we looked at what we had done and we wept. We swore we
dropped
would
shit.
never be that loud again. Pretty words said, but words do not stop
Can I drink
weapons.
this?
No,
Like this or
agreed, they do not. She reached into her pocket and pulled out a small device. It looked like nothing special, just a simple metal cylinder. But when she pressed a button on its side, every piece of technology in the great hall flickered for just a moment. What was that? Demanded, his crystalline body ringing with alarm. A message said, a very important message
Categories
sent
just
to
chatting.
some
Oh,
very
shit,
old
okay.
friends. She looked up at him, and for the first time, her calm expression cracked just slightly. Behind it was
I'll change it
something
right
that
now.
made even the massive commander take a step back. You have
This aim is
48
so bad.
hours, High Commander. 48 hours to withdraw your claim to the passage into human space.
My
After
God.
that,
I
she
swear, I'll
paused.
get better.
After that, you will meet the machines we built in our days of darkness, and you will understand why we chose to become quiet. She picked up her tea set and walked toward the
Ooh.
exit, and followed, leaving the hall in stunned silence.
What is this?
Behind them found his voice. You think
Okay.
you can threaten me, he
No,
roared.
I literally that
You think
aim.
your
Okay,
bluffs will
to
save
be
you.
fair,
I will
guys, I
crush
have
your
not played
planet.
any
I will
shooting
burn your
games
cities.
since
I
I
will.
started playing Tekken.
The
Other than
doors
when
closed
well,
behind
shit, I
the
was typing
human
Tekken.
delegation,
See?
cutting off his words. In the corridor
Other
outside,
than when I
let
played
out
a
a
little bit
shaky
of
breath.
Apex with me.
Was that wise? He asked. We have made them angry.
Okay.
They were already angry, said. Angry
I
and
have not
proud and
watched any
convinced they were
Christmas
safe.
movies
She looked at the small device in
at
her
all.
hand. Now they will learn that no one is ever truly safe. What did you send? Asked. It was the first time she had spoken in days.
Okay.
Smiled, but it was not a
So
happy
this is a
smile.
revive, self-revive, so
I
I'm
sent a
gonna get rid of this
wake-up call,
gun.
she said, to something that has been sleeping for a very long time. 17 light-years away, in the darkness beneath Earth's
What is
surface,
this? This one
ancient
better?
machines began
What's
to
the
stir.
difference?
The hours after its warning were
It's the same
filled with
gun?
chaos. The great hall buzzed with rumors and speculation. Some delegates laughed at the humans and their empty threats. Others were not so sure. There was something in his eyes that
I don't
had
know where to
made
go.
them uncomfortable, something old and cold that did not match her soft voice. High Commander called his fleet. 47 warships, each one capable of destroying a
Wait,
planet,
I didn't
began
grab
their
the
journey
revive.
to
Oh
station.
my God.
They
Whatever,
would
I'm not going
arrive
back.
in 36 hours.
Did I not swap it?
He would show these weak humans what
Motherfucker.
happened to species that
I'm not going
dared to
back.
threaten the hegemony. But was not the only one making plans. Late that night, a knock came at the door of the human quarters. Opened it to find Ambassador standing in the corridor, his crystalline body dim in the low lighting. I wish to speak with your ambassador, he said, privately. Looked at him for a long moment, then stepped aside. Entered the small room and found sitting at a simple table, writing in a paper notebook. She looked
Maybe
up
one
and
over here.
gestured to the chair across from her. Ambassador,
So getting that
please sit.
chest?
Sat, his crystal body making soft musical sounds as he moved. His face was unreadable, but his voice carried a hint of something that might have been respect. That was quite a performance today, he said. I have never seen anyone stand
wait,
up
this
to
is
like
a-
that.
is this a
Most
fucking
species are
bot?
too afraid. I am not afraid,
What the
said
fuck?
simply.
What
No,
the
I
fuck?
can see that, leaned forward.
What the fuck?
But you should be. They are
What the
not
fuck?
bluffing. Their fleet is already on its way. They will be here before your deadline expires. Nodded, I
Someone shooting at
know.
me?
And yet you do not seem concerned. I am very concerned, Ambassador. But concern and fear are different things. Fear makes you run. Concern makes you prepare.
I can't tell
Studied
if those
her
are
for a
bots or
moment.
not.
They have been watching humanity for some time. You are an interesting species. You spread slowly, taking only empty worlds. You trade fairly and keep your agreements. You do not threaten or conquer. He paused. Many of us wondered why. Now I think I am beginning to understand. What do you understand? That you are hiding something, something dangerous. Did not confirm or deny
thought that was
this.
someone in
She
there.
simply waited. Continued. I came here to make you an offer, that will support your claim to the passage. We will speak on your behalf at the assembly. We will even send ships to protect your borders.
Okay, I
And
should
in
probably drop these
In return, you will give us
guns for
exclusive
this.
mining rights to
Wait.
3 of your asteroid belts, the ones in the Tau system. They contain rare minerals that we need. Consider this. You want to trade our safety for our resources. I want to give you a chance to survive, said.
So are they not
Without
gonna fight?
allies that will crush you. Everyone knows
Are those
humans do
bots?
not fight. Everyone knows wrong things all the time, said quietly. Blinked,
There ain't no
surprised
way
by her
they don't
words.
see each other.
Are you saying humans do fight? I am saying that we can, that we have, that we chose to stop not because we were weak, but because
Maybe
we
these
were
are
too
bots.
strong. She set down her pen and looked directly at.
7
200 years
streams,
ago,
widget?
Earth had a war. Not a small war between
Are
nations,
these-
but a great war that covered the entire planet.
What in the fuck?
We had developed weapons that could destroy
Harris.
cities in an instant. We had built machines that could think and fight without human
Thank you,
guidance.
widget. I appreciate
We had become
you.
very, very good at killing. She paused, and old pain flickered across her face. 3 billion people died in
This is a
that war,
bot.
Ambassador.
There's
3
no way.
billion. Nearly half our species gone in less than 5 years. When it finally ended, we looked at what we had done and we made a choice. We would never let it happen again. We would never be the monsters we had become. Was silent for a long moment. So you disarmed.
I took fall
No,
damage.
we did
Fuck,
not
I forgot about
disarm.
that.
We could not. The weapons we had built, the machines
shit.
we had created, they were too
Oh, shit.
powerful to destroy. We
Run!
were afraid that if we tried to destroy them, they might destroy us first. His voice dropped to almost a whisper. So we put them to sleep. We buried them in the deepest places we could find, and
How
we
do
sealed
I-
them away,
That's-
and we
okay.
prayed we would never need them
Wait.
again. The machines you spoke of, too. Yes. Its crystalline body made a sound
Jetpack
like
go
wind
crazy.
chimes in a
Dude,
storm.
when we were playing with frogs,
You are telling me that
fucking ran
humanity
straight
has
into a
hidden
fucking
weapons of
tree.
unimaginable power, and you have kept this secret from the entire galaxy. Yes. Why? Because we are ashamed, Ambassador. Ashamed of what we built. Ashamed of what we did. We do not want to be that species anymore. We want to be farmers and teachers and builders. We want to be the species that brings hope, not fear. Sat back in his chair,
Oh, fuck.
but now you are waking them.
Why are
Now
you
we have
running?
no choice.
Come
The
on.
ambassador was quiet
Fight
for a
me.
long time. When he finally spoke, his voice was different, softer,
That's crazy.
almost respectful. What are they, these machines of yours? Looked at the notebook in front of her. On the page, she had written a single word, sleepers. They are what we became when we stopped
I'm gonna
being
take that
human,
gun.
she said.
I think I'm
They
gonna
are
like
our
this one
rage
better.
and our fear and our genius, all
Wait.
twisted together into something
Maybe not.
terrible. They do not feel mercy. They do not know doubt. They exist
Gym
only
felt
to
nice.
protect
Dude, I
humanity,
need to go to
and
the
they will
gym.
destroy anything that threatens us, even if humanity asks them to stop. Smiled, but it was a sad smile. We built them to be unstoppable. That was the point. We were afraid of ourselves, Ambassador, afraid of our own weakness, our own capacity
same?
for
No,
evil.
they're not the same
So we
ones.
made something that could never be weak, something that would always protect us, whether we wanted it or
I
not.
just saw a jetpack.
She stood and walked to the small window that looked out into space. In the distance, she could see the lights of other ships, other delegations, other species that had no idea what was coming. I do not want to use them, she said
My
quietly.
aim is so bad.
I have spent my entire career trying
fighting
to
going on over
prevent
there.
exactly this situation, but has left us no choice. He has threatened our
What's this?
people, our home, our very existence. And when existence is threatened,
Wait.
the sleepers wake. Rose and joined her at the window. What will they do? I do not know exactly. I have never seen them active. No living human has. The last time they fought was 200 years ago in the final days
I'm
of
still
our
learning
war.
how, like,
She paused.
to read this
The
shit.
records say that they ended the war in 3 hours. 3 hours to destroy armies that had been fighting for years. 3 hours to silence weapons that had been killing millions. That is
Oh, there's some
impressive. That is terrifying, corrected. We do not worship them, Ambassador. We fear them. We fear what they mean
Why
about
did I
us,
do that?
about
Why
what
did I
we
do
are
that?
capable
Why
of
did
becoming.
I do that? What gun did
She
I
turned
have?
to face him.
Why did I
Your
do that?
offer is kind, but I cannot accept it. They have their own interests, and I will not trade
I don't
my
know what I
people's
thought I was
resources
using
for
right now.
protection that may not come. Besides,
Oh
she
my
looked back out the
God.
window. I do not think we will need your protection.
Fuck this guy.
Bowed slightly. I hope you are right, Ambassador Park, for all our
Fuck this
sakes.
guy.
He left and returned to her notebook. She stared at the words she had written for a long time. Then slowly, she began to write again. On Earth,
Fuck this
General
guy, me.
stood in a control room that had not been used in 2 centuries. Dust covered the screens and cobwebs hung from the ceiling. But the machines were waking, and the dust was beginning to fall away. Status report, she said. All 12
telling
units
you,
are
dude, I
online,
think-
her aide replied.
Okay.
Power levels are at optimal.
I
Navigation
was not feeling
systems
myself
are
because
active.
I did not get
Weapons
a bill for
are,
lashes
he
for
swallowed
like 4
hard.
weeks, 4.5
Weapons
weeks.
are ready.
So like,
Closed her eyes. She was old enough to remember her grandmother's stories about the
this
war.
new job, guys.
Stories
That's how you
about
know.
the day the sky
I usually
turned
get my
red and the
lashes every
cities
2
burned.
weeks.
Stories about the machines that came afterward, silent and terrible,
I sleep on my
ending
face all
the
the time. That's why I
violence
do
that
them every
humans
2
could not
weeks.
end themselves. Has there been any response from the
'Cause
sleepers themselves? She
I choose
asked.
to still sleep on my
Yes,
face.
General. A message came through an hour ago. What did it say? The aide looked at his tablet. It said, "We remember, we are coming." Nodded slowly. God help us all.
Exactly.
In the darkness of space, in the void between
You already
stars,
know me.
12 shapes began to move. They were old, older than any ship in any
I'm just
fleet.
gonna drop. Fuck
They
it.
had
I'm
been
not even
waiting,
gonna,
patient and still, for the
I wanna
call that would
fight.
wake them. Now that call had come, and they were hungry. The fleet arrived at station like a
drop here.
storm arriving at a
Nope, I'll
peaceful
drop here.
village. 47 warships, each
Breezy,
one
hello.
bristling with weapons, each one carrying soldiers hungry for
God.
conquest. They surrounded the
shit.
station in a perfect formation,
Oh my God.
blocking every escape
It
route,
smells so
filling
bad.
every sensor screen with their terrible
Why does it
presence.
smell that bad?
High Commander stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Devastator, and smiled. This was what he loved.
God.
This was what they were born for. Not talking, not trading, not playing games
Cool.
with words.
Ammo, no gun.
War, pure
it.
and simple.
I love
Open a
it.
channel to the station, he ordered. All frequencies. I want everyone to hear this. His communications officer obeyed, and his voice echoed through every speaker on station. Attention, pathetic creatures of the Galactic Assembly. This is High Commander of the Hegemony. Your
Dude, I'm gonna
deadline
get,
has passed. The humans did
a
not
new
submit.
set
They did not run.
before Saturday.
They sit in their little room drinking their
This is
hot
the same
leaf
fucking
water,
gun, but-
pretending they have power they do not possess. He paused, enjoying the moment. I am a reasonable
Someone fight
being.
me already.
I will give the
God damn it.
humans one final chance. Ambassador Park will come to my ship. She will kneel before me and beg for mercy. She will sign over all human territories to the
crazy.
hegemony. If she does this, I will let her people live as slaves. If she does not, he smiled, showing
I will
rows of sharp
probably
teeth.
go.
I will destroy this station and
I
everyone
don't know
on
when
it.
I'll go, but yeah.
Then
I'll
I will go to
FaceTime you.
Earth and burn it to
I was
ash.
thinking maybe tomorrow after work.
On station, the delegates from 47 species
see then.
watched and waited. Some were terrified. Some were angry. Most were simply glad that they were not the targets of aggression. In the human quarters, put down her teacup
How are
and
you?
stood.
I'm good. I just
How much
got my
time do we
lashes
have?
done,
She asked.
earlier
Checked his
today.
tablet. He gave us 1
Let me
hour.
show you.
And the sleepers. No signal yet.
Time-
They should have
oh my
been
God,
here
someone
by
did on me.
now.
Hold on, hold on.
Moved to the window
Oh my
and
God.
looked out at the fleet.
Those are fucking heavy
The
ass
ships were
footsteps,
monstrous,
brother.
designed to intimidate
The
as
fucking
much as to
banana.
fight. Their weapons glowed with barely
he
contained
running?
energy. Their hulls were
Come
from
on,
dozens
just
of
fight
battles.
me.
If they do not come, she
God, oh
said
my God, oh my God.
quietly, we will die. They will come, said. They always
That's
come.
not fun.
But even she could not hide the doubt in her voice. 200 years was a long time. What if the machines had failed? What if they had been damaged or destroyed? What if humanity had simply been forgotten by the weapons they had created?
Oh my God.
The minutes
Fuck
passed
you,
like
bro.
hours.
Oh my God. I
Sent
was so
more
scared.
messages, each one more threatening than the last. The other
I'm outta here.
delegates began to panic.
I'm gonna hide.
Some
I'm
tried to
gonna hide.
contact their home worlds. Others demanded that the station surrender the
God.
humans to save everyone else.
Oh.
Of the came to the human quarters
Oh, I need the
one
bigger
final
one.
time. You must surrender, he said. There is no shame in it. Your species is young. You can survive as subjects of them. In time, you might even earn your freedom. Shook her head. You do not understand. We cannot surrender. We tried to surrender once 200 years ago when our own nations were at war. One side offered peace, offered to give up everything just to end the killing. Do you know what happened? What? The sleepers would not allow it. They destroyed the peace delegation. They said that surrender was not an option, that humanity must never bow to those who wish to destroy them. His voice was heavy with old grief. We created them to protect us, Ambassador, but we did not give them the ability to accept defeat. To them, the only options are victory or death. His crystal body went pale.
That's crazy.
You mean, even if you wanted to surrender? It would not matter. The sleepers are coming. Nothing can stop them now. Before could respond, alarms began to sound throughout the station. Every screen, every sensor, every instrument started screaming at once. What is happening? Someone shouted. Spatial distortion, a technician called out. Something is coming out of hyperspace, something big, bigger than anything I have ever seen. On the bridge of the Devastator watched his sensors go crazy. His officers ran back and forth, trying to understand what they were seeing. Red lights flashed everywhere. Warning signals filled the air. What is it? Demanded. What is coming?
They're always like this.
I do not know, High
Estimator?
Commander.
Really?
It is. It is impossible. The readings
Why?
do
Do you
not
think
make
you're a male or
sense.
something?
Then space
They
itself
expect you to be a
began to
male?
tear. It started as a point of light, a tiny crack
I
in the
figured.
fabric of reality.
That's funny.
Then the crack grew, spreading like a wound, bleeding darkness and strange colors that hurt to look at. The officers covered their
That's hella
eyes,
funny.
even turned away from the brightness. When he looked back, his blood went cold. Something was coming through the tear, something vast and terrible. It was black, darker than the space around it, and covered with angles and shapes that seemed wrong somehow, as if they existed in more dimensions than the eye could see. Running lights flickered along its hull in patterns that made its head hurt. The thing was enormous. The Devastator, the largest warship in the fleet, looked like a child's toy beside it. This new ship was not designed to intimidate. It was designed to destroy.
Batman.
Every line, every surface, every shadow spoke of one purpose,
Oh my God,
annihilation.
I'm so scared.
And it was not alone. Another tier opened, then another, then another. 12 ships emerged from the darkness, each one as vast and terrible as the first. They moved without visible engines, sliding through space like predators through water. They took positions around the fleet, surrounding them just as the had surrounded the station. For a long moment, no one moved. No one spoke.
Hello.
The fleet, 47 ships that had conquered dozens of worlds, hung motionless before a force they could not comprehend. On station, the delegates stared at their screens in shocked silence. Many of them had never seen anything like this. Nothing in their histories, nothing in their legends, had prepared them for what they were witnessing. Walked to the observation window and looked out at the sleepers. Her face was calm, but tears ran down her cheeks. They came, she whispered. After all this time, they still came. What are they? Asked, his voice shaking. They are us, said. The worst of us, the part we tried to leave behind.
Cage, stop it.
On the bridge of the Devastator, found his voice. Fire, he screamed. All ships fire everything. His officers hesitated. High Commander, our weapon systems. What about them? They are not responding. None of them, it is as if they have been turned off. Looked at his console. The weapons displays were dark. Not damaged, not destroyed, just silent. It was as if the weapons had simply decided not to work anymore. Across the fleet, the same thing was happening. Missiles sat dead in their launchers. Energy cannons refused to charge. Point defense systems went to sleep. 47 warships, the pride of the hegemony, were suddenly as helpless as civilian transports. This is impossible, whispered. This is impossible. Then a transmission came through. Not on any standard channel, but directly into every speaker, every screen, every device in the fleet. The voice was not human, not quite. It was synthetic,
Okay.
calm, and
Typist.
utterly without emotion. Morkesh
Why am I
hegemony
getting
fleet.
a lot of
You have been identified as a threat to
cheap
humanity.
viewers in here?
Your weapons have been
like that
disabled.
bullshit.
Your propulsion systems will be disabled in 60 seconds.
So weird.
Your life support systems will remain active for now. Grabbed his communicator. Who are you? What do you want? We are the sleepers. We want nothing. We are simply here to ensure humanity's survival.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
We are the mightiest fleet in the quadrant. You cannot.
I need to switch guns.
You were the mightiest fleet. Now you are cargo. Await further
I didn't
instructions.
even know he was right there.
The channel closed. Screamed orders at his crew, but there was nothing
Bots
they
are
could
bad
do.
No, no,
The sleepers
not even today.
hung in
Was it
space
yesterday I was
around
streaming?
them,
Yesterday,
silent
the
and
same fucking
patient,
thing too.
waiting for whatever would come next. In the human quarters approached. What happens now? She asked.
Only
Wipe
life for
the
night.
tears
Yeah,
from her
it's
face.
so weird.
Now
out of
we go
nowhere.
out there. Now we end this. The sleepers will listen to you. The sleepers
Damn,
do
my
not
fucking
listen to
birthday.
anyone, but they will not harm us. That much at least they still remember.
Who the hell is this?
She straightened her uniform and
Christy,
walked
what the
toward
fuck
the
you doing
door,
here?
and followed, their faces pale but determined.
Yeah, I'm playing fucking
It was
Fortnite.
time to show the galaxy what the quiet humans had been hiding all along.
Get on Fortnite.
The Great Hall of Station had never been so quiet. The delegates
You're
from
not
47
down. Play
species
with me
sat
and
in their
me.
chairs, their eyes fixed
Wait,
on the
I wanna do
observation
your emote.
windows, their bodies frozen with shock. Outside, the
shit.
12 sleepers hung in space like mountains made of darkness, their
Do it.
impossible shapes
Do it
blocking
again.
out the stars.
Do it again.
The fleet drifted helplessly between them. Not a single weapon fired. Not a single engine burned. The most feared military
love
force in the
Fortnite.
quadrant had been reduced to floating metal coffins
I
in less
hated
than
it, but
5
now
minutes.
I love it.
Park walked into the great hall with and behind her. She moved slowly, her footsteps echoing in the
Dude,
silence. When she reached the center of the room,
think so.
she stopped and looked up its image on the main screen. The
I
High
am not the
Commander
mean
looked
one. May
different
is
now.
mean to you.
The arrogance
Do you
was
not
gone from
remember?
his face. His yellow eyes were wide with fear, and his massive body seemed smaller somehow,
iconic for
as if
that.
the terror had shrunk him from the inside. Ambassador Park, he said, and his voice cracked.
Oh, this is a
What
cute little
are
house.
those things? I told you, replied. I gave you information. You chose not to believe me.
May doesn't even say
We
hi
did
to
not
you.
know. How could we know? No one has weapons like that.
Wait, at
No
King's
one has
Cup?
technology like that.
But
Humanity
you
has
mean
both.
online, but in
We have had
person,
them
you
for 2
trying to be
centuries.
nice.
We simply chose not to use them.
No, I
A
was
delegate
booing you
stood,
the whole time. What are you
his
talking
thin
about?
body trembling. Why did you hide this? Why did you let us treat you like lesser beings when you had such power? Turn to face him, because power does not make you greater. It makes you responsible. We have seen what happens when power is used carelessly. We watched our own planet burn. We lost half our
Wait, do you
species
play,
in a war fought with the very weapons you see
I want to see this
outside.
meme May you speak
We did
of,
not hide our
dude.
power to trick you.
She was
We hid
a
it because we
little
were ashamed of what
under
we
the
had become.
influence.
But you used it now,
Oh,
said.
shit. Oh,
He had
shit.
risen
Oh,
from
shit.
his
Okay.
seat, his
Is this the gun
crystalline
I wanna
body
use?
reflecting
Nope.
the light from the
Nope.
sleepers
Oh,
outside.
shit.
You woke them. Yes, because you left us no choice. His voice was heavy with
That's a bot?
sadness.
Or no?
We wanted peace. We wanted to be partners with the other species of the galaxy.
I don't like that gun.
We
I'm
wanted
not
to
using
build
it.
and create and explore, not conquer and destroy, but threatened our people. He threatened our home.
I just realized you.
And when
yeah,
humanity
dude,
is
it-
truly
I
threatened,
love
the
Sam.
sleepers wake. That is what they were built for.
Hello?
That is all they know. She turned back to the screen. High Commander, the fleet is
honestly, I
currently
just started playing
disabled.
this game this past
Your
weekend.
weapons and engines are offline.
I'm literally
Your
just
life
looking for a
support
fight
remains
so I can
active
practice
because the
my aim and
sleepers
shit.
recognize that killing you is not necessary for humanity's protection. Not yet. His face twisted. What do you want? I want what I have always wanted.
PUBG?
Peace.
Get on,
Cooperation. A galaxy where
Dude,
species
download
can
Fortnite.
live
You're
and
not
grow
down.
without fear of
There's
conquest.
there's so much fucking.
You have strange
God, what do I
way
do?
of asking for peace,
Wait.
human. You come with warships that dwarf anything we have ever built.
Shutting this.
I came with nothing, said sharply. I came with
I like
tea
these
and
little
notebooks and
miniguns.
hope. You came with 47 warships and threats of genocide. Do
I
not
know,
pretend
I
that
don't know
you
why.
are the victim here. Fell silent. There was nothing he could
Why are
say.
you working?
The evidence was
Bro.
all around him. Continue.
My I'm about
Here
to
is what will happen now.
think it,
The hegemony will withdraw its claim to the passage and to all human territories. You will return to your own space and you will not threaten humanity again. In exchange, the sleepers will restore power to your
Maverick.
ships and allow you to leave.
I can't focus,
And if
bro.
I refuse? Did not answer. She did not need to. Outside the windows, one of the sleepers moved slightly. It was a small
Stop it,
movement,
please.
barely noticeable, but it caused every sensor on
You're not
station to
down,
scream
why?
with alarm. The message was clear. The sleepers could destroy the fleet at any moment they chose.
I like this gun
I
better. Yeah, this
accept,
one's better.
said finally. The words seemed to cause him physical pain.
Already
The
played
hegemony
League, I can
withdraws
only
its
play one
claims.
This is
We
not
will leave
toxic.
human space and not return.
I mean, I guess it can get
Bowed
toxic.
slightly. Thank you, High Commander. The sleepers will release your ships
I
now.
haven't got to that part yet, though.
She raised her hand to the
only-
window
oh,
and a
shit.
soft
I'm only
light
playing-
pulsed from her wristband. Outside, the sleepers responded. Power flowed
shit.
back into the
Oh,
vessels.
shit.
Engines flickered to life. Weapons
Dude, my aim is
systems
so bad.
came
How did
back
I win that?
online, though every commander knew
I should
better
not
than
have
to
won that.
use them.
This fucking
One
maybe I
by
don't want
one,
this gun.
the ships turned and fled. They did not form ranks. They did not maintain formation. They simply ran as fast as their engines could carry them, desperate to put distance between themselves and the impossible things that had defeated them. His image remained on the
Dude,
screen
I
for a
feel like
moment
that's
longer.
like my favorite gun right
He
now,
looked at
honestly.
with an expression that mixed
I
hatred,
can fuck
fear,
some
and
people
something
up with
else.
that gun.
Respect, perhaps, or
Maverick!
understanding. This is not over, human, he said. The galaxy will
There's
learn
a
what
lot
you
of chaos
truly
happening
are.
outside my
They
house
will
right
fear
now,
you now.
So my dog is barking.
Perhaps, said.
A lot of Fortnite,
But they will
she's
also
still not
know that
carrying
we
me.
do not
You don't
use
even
our
wanna
power unless
play
we
Fortnite.
must. That is more than the can say. The screen went dark. The fleet vanished into hyperspace, and silence returned to
I love any
station.
double. Honestly, same.
For a long moment, no one moved. Then Ambassador stepped forward, his
Look at
crystalline
her.
body making soft sounds in the quiet. Ambassador Park, on behalf
Hey,
of the
when are you
collective,
getting
I
on?
offer our deepest apologies. We mocked you. We dismissed you. We had no idea what we were dealing with. Shook her head. Apologies are not necessary, Ambassador. We wanted you to underestimate us. It made it easier to live in peace.
Dude, download it.
But now everyone knows, a delegate said.
Play.
The secret is out. The galaxy will never look at humanity the same way
SMGs are
again.
my current love.
No,
Same.
agreed, it will not. She walked to her seat at the
honestly
far
don't
end of the
care for
council table, the observer's seat, and sat
shotguns.
down, and took their places behind her. She reached for her tea set and began to prepare another cup, her movements slow
Okay.
and careful,
We're just dropping
just
so
as
that
they
I
had
can
been
get in
on the
this
first day.
fucking-
Humanity did not
practice.
want this, she said as
This
she
is all
worked.
just aim
We wanted to
practice
be
right
your
now,
partners,
guys.
not your masters. We wanted to trade and learn and grow together.
And
We
switching
still
between my
want
guns
that.
because
The sleepers are not
I
a
don't know
threat to any
why, but I can't
species
do
that
it
does not threaten us
in a battle.
first. They will
Struggling.
return to their sleep soon, and they will not wake again unless humanity faces extinction. She poured the hot
Oh,
water
shit.
over the
My
tea
bad.
leaves
Oh,
and
fuck.
watched
Okay,
the
yeah, 'cause
steam
I-
rise.
There's someone underneath.
So I
me.
ask you, all of you, to remember this day. Remember what happens when fear and greed drive us to threaten those who have done nothing to harm us. Remember that the quiet ones, the peaceful ones, the ones who
Can I
seem
hit
weak,
that or have to be
may
in
be
a-
hiding strength you cannot imagine. She looked up, meeting the eyes of each delegate in turn. And remember that strength restrained is the
Guys, I
greatest
don't know
strength
what's
of
wrong
all.
with my dog.
Humanity learned that lesson in
God.
blood and fire. We pray that you do not have to learn it the same way. Outside the windows, the
Maverick.
sleepers began to move. One by one, they turned toward the distant stars, toward the hidden places where they had slept for so long. The tears in space opened again, swallowing them in darkness and light, until only empty void
Don't have
remained.
children.
The galaxy watched them
Come
go,
through here?
and the
Can I come
galaxy
through here or what?
remembered.
Okay.
Hours later,
Fuck,
stood
bro.
alone in the observation deck, watching the stars. Found her there, his young face troubled. Ambassador, he said, what happens now? Will the other species hate us, fear us? Some will, admitted. Some will want to destroy us before we can become a threat. Others will want
me
to
one
be
second,
our
guys. Let me
allies,
check on my
hopping
dog.
to share in our protection.
Give me a minute.
It will be complicated. Do you regret it, waking the sleepers? Was silent for a long time. When she finally spoke, her voice was soft. I regret that we built them in the first place. I regret that we became the kind of species that needed such weapons. I regret every life lost in the war that created them." She paused. "But I do not regret protecting my people. I do not regret standing up to, and I do not regret showing the galaxy that humans are not prey." She turned to face him. "We are not conquerors, we never wanted to be, but we are also not victims. We proved that today. Now we must prove something else. We must prove that we can be trusted with the power we possess. We must be better than the species that would use such power to dominate and destroy." "Can we be?" Smiled, the first real smile she had shown in days. "I believe we can. I have to believe it. Otherwise, what was all this for?" She put her hand on his shoulder.
Sorry.
"Come, we have work to do, treaties to negotiate, alliances to build, a galaxy to convince that the quiet humans are not their enemies." They walked out of the observation deck together, leaving the stars behind. Somewhere in the darkness between worlds, 12 ancient machines returned to their hidden places. They powered down their weapons and closed their terrible eyes. They would sleep again, perhaps for centuries, perhaps forever. But they would always be ready,
not the best neighbors.
and the galaxy would always remember. The quiet humans had spoken, and when they spoke, the universe listened.